Welcome to this short shakeout practice. Great for starting your morning with a bang or getting rid of all the stresses you've experienced throughout the day. We will begin in child's pose. So go ahead and make your way onto your knees. Extend your arms forward, soften your forehead to the floor. You may prefer to open the knees and thighs to accommodate your belly and ribs. You may choose a block to support your forehead. Take a few moments to arrive, to enter this yogic mindset, focusing entirely on your practice. With your eyes closed, scan through the body, mentally making a note for any source of tension that you discover. Anything that can impact your practice, make sure you keep an eye on. Remember, you can always adjust what you're doing depending on how you feel. I'm only here to give suggestions. The real practitioner is you. On the next exhale, push into your palms. Lengthen your tailbone away from your fingertips. See if you can get a little bit closer to your heels with your sit bones. Feel the way your spine stretches all the way from the bottom to the nape of your neck. Creep the fingertips slightly forward. Squeeze the hip even further away from your fingertips. And gather your thoughts. And keeping your chin tucked in towards the throat. Keep your back rounded. Start rising up into cat pose. Bringing your hands under the shoulders. Knees under the hips. Taking the shins parallel to each other. Open the fingers. On the next inhale, open the heart between your upper arms. Lift through the tailbone, lift through the crown, pull the shoulders away from the ears. As you exhale, come back to the rounded spine, to your cat pose. And let your breath guide you in this movement, switching between the two motions of the spine. After your next exhale, breathe in, come back into a neutral spine. Find some support in the lower belly by engaging your core, tucking the tailbone slightly. Lift through the back body, lengthen the crown of the head forward. Keeping your torso as a single unit, start circling around your wrists and knees. Finding some joy in this movement, some freedom. Try not to let any arching to happen in the spine. Keep it floating, nice and strong. Change direction, move in the circle, going in the opposite way. And find your way back into tabletop. Press firmly through both hands. Make sure you're grounding through all four corners. Step your right foot back. Rest on the ball of the foot. Take a moment to squeeze the toes under. Push the heel back, stretch through the calf, bend the knee slightly if you need to, so it doesn't go into your hamstrings. Bring the shoulders slightly forward until they're over the wrists again. Turn the inner edge of your right foot down. Turn your left shin 90 degrees. Press into the left hand as you stack your right shoulder on top and reach your right arm high. Squeeze your glutes to open the front of the hips. Bring your gaze to the top hand. If that's too much, you can keep your neck neutral or even gaze down. Avoid sinking into your left shoulder. Imagine someone's holding you by the very tips of your fingers on the right hand, pulling you up to the sky. Engage the sides of your waist, lifting up, up, up. Then come back to tabletop. Switch sides. Left foot steps back this time. First, just a quick stretch through the calf. Press into the hands, push the heel back, maybe a little bend through the knee. Core supporting the spine in its neutral position. And bring the shoulders forward again. Turn to the inner edge of the left foot. Right shin turns. Press into the right hand as you rise through the left arm. Squeeze the glutes. Push the hips to the long edge of the mat. Maybe turning the gaze up to the fingertips of your left hand. Create space between your right ear and right shoulder. Come back down to tabletop. Tuck the toes on both feet. And pressing into the hands, lift the knees in towards your belly. Push slightly back. See if you can create contact between the front of your thighs and your lower ribs. Soften through your neck. Lift the hips even higher. Bring the chest between the arms. Pressing still through the inner edges as well as the outer edges of the hands, and push the outer arms towards each other. Keep this modified version of downward facing dog. Create a beautiful line from your wrist to the top of your sit bones. From here, keep your right knee bent. Start lowering your left heel down and switch. Gently pedaling through the feet. Starting to stretch the back of one leg as the other bends deeply. Bring both heels up, soften the knees to the floor, and step the right foot back again. This time we're going to float our right leg parallel to the ground. Flex through the ankle, toes pointing towards your right knee. Stay here if that's enough, or you can add action through the arm. Keep the shoulders level as you reach the left hand forward. And either keep the fingertips on the floor or float your left arm parallel to the ground also. Take a breath in, lengthen through the arm and leg, or just the leg if you're using that variation. Exhale, knee to nose, round your back. Pull your left elbow in if your arm's floating. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hand down, knee down, tuck the toes. Pull up into another downward facing dog. This time moving on your own. You may continue with pedaling the feet. You may bounce the knees bent and straight. Maybe shake your head. Maybe you choose to stay still in a position that works for your body. Make sure you're still pushing the ground away. Knees to the floor. Left foot steps back now. Hips and shoulders square. Float your left leg up, flex your left ankle. Option to stay with just the leg. Or you can bring your right hand diagonally in front. Option 3, float your right arm. Keep the shoulders and hips level. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck in. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and tuck. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and tuck. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, tabletop. Tuck the toes. Take another breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment to lift your heels, soften the knees. Then flex your ankles, lower the heels without releasing that softness in the knees. And see if you can lift the toes off the ground, pressing through the balls of the feet instead. Engaging the front of your legs, pulling the kneecaps into the hip sockets. Keep pushing for that long line through the top of your body. On the next inhale, come forward into plank. Align the shoulders with your wrists. Lower the hips in line with your shoulders. Tuck the tailbone slightly so the sit bones are looking at your heels. Make space between the collarbones as you create a slight doming motion between the shoulder blades. Another breath in. You can lower the knees down if you wish. And on the exhale, keep the elbows closed as you come down on the front of your body and untuck the toes. Breathe in, lift into baby cobra, engage your legs, engage your back and glutes, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lower. Bring the hands slightly wider. Keep pulling the elbows in as you lift into another baby cobra. Exhale down. Hands even wider, this time lifting onto fingertips and lifting the elbows above the wrists. Inhale, lift into your cobra. Exhale all the way down. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Push up onto hands and knees. Make your way forward into a lunge. Step your left foot between the hands. Keep the left foot aligned with the left hip and the left knee over the left ankle. Let's pulse for a second, pushing the hips forward, freeing the front of the right hip flexor and flexing through the left ankle, then coming into a neutral position. Push and release. Try to keep your spine long. You can come onto the fingertips to help you, like I'm doing here, or you can add a pair of blocks under each hand. Come back into a solid position, your left knee over the ankle, push off the floor, lift into a nice tall lunge, breathe in, take the arms overhead as you tuck the tailbone down towards the ground. On the exhale, pull the arms back, lean forward. Inhale, reach up. Maybe find a tiny back bend at the very top of your spine. Exhale, come forward, swing the arms back. One more, breathe in, take the arms up. Exhale, come forward, frame your left foot. Tuck the toes, lift the back knee, step back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here, stay still or add movement as you see fit. Then soften the knees to the floor. And make your way forward with the right foot. Keep it aligned with your right knee. Toes can be tucked or untucked on the back foot. Knee is over the ankle in neutral position. And then we're just going to pulse. Again, try to open the space between your shoulders. And just move in and out of this hip opener. Push and release. You'll feel some resistance. You don't have to push to a point of pain, just to where you can feel that stretch working. And then bring the knee over the ankle again. Push off the floor. Align the shoulders over the hips and lengthen your tailbone down. Inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale, tilt the torso forward and swing the arms back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms back. Inhale, one more. Arms up. Exhale, come forward. Frame your right foot. Tuck the toes, lift the back knee. Step back into plank this time. Take a moment to align everything where it needs to be, and of course feel free to bring your knees to the floor. On the next exhale, lower down carefully. You can stop halfway down in Chaturanga, or you can come all the way to your belly. Untuck the toes, breathe in either to baby cobra, or lift all the way into your upward facing dog. If you've lifted and it proved to be too much, lower your thighs, bend your elbows. Tuck the toes. Let's find downward facing dog again, and stay here for a moment. When you feel it's time, bring your knees to the ground, come into a seated position, cross your ankles, roll through, or get there in any way that you prefer. Shuffle your seat to the middle of the mat so you've got plenty of space to lie back into. Lengthen your right leg on the floor and bring your left knee nice and close to your body. Wrapping your right arm around the left leg, hug it close. Allow your left shoulder to open up to the side. Place your left fingertips behind you. Then track that direction with your gaze. Turn your head, look over your left shoulder. With every breath, free yourself into the twist. It works the other way too. If you feel that it's starting to get too intense, you can free yourself out of the twist slightly. Find the resistance without pain. Turn to the front again and drop your left knee out to the side, aligning the sole of your left foot with the inside of your right leg. It doesn't have to be all the way up into the groin, so just find a position where you can still comfortably sit upright without your left hip tensing up and your left knee hitting your ear. Frame your right leg, flex your right ankle, knee and toes both pointing up. Breathe in, lengthen through the spine, pop your chest forward. Exhale, soften a couple of inches forward, walk your hands. Soften through that right knee if you need to. And keep doing this. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, walk forward if there's space for you to do so. As many or as few times as your body is happy for you to do. At your final stage, you might soften through the shoulders, drop your head. Be careful not to pull the forehead down. Still, the driving force behind this fold are our hips and the center of the chest. Walk the hands back in towards the body. Lift your spine upright. Switch sides. Extend your left leg forward. Bring your right knee into a deep bend, planting your right foot next to your seat. Wrap your opposite arm, left arm around your right thigh. Right hand's going to come behind to give us some support. Still relying on our spine to keep us upright. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, turn your right shoulder out of the way to help you twist. Maybe turning the gaze over your right shoulder too. That sense of direction can really help you twist. Don't feel like you have to match the same twist that you had on the other side. It may feel or look different, and that's perfectly okay. Use your breaths to help you deepen or come out slightly. Return to face the front of your mat. Drop your right knee, placing the sole of the foot into your left thigh and framing your left leg. Remember, with the ankle flexed, the kneecap and the toes are pointing up. You can keep the knees soft as you inhale and lengthen through the spine. Exhale and walk the hands ever so slightly forward, bringing the chest lower, aiming with the center of the chest. If that's as far as you go, brilliant. If you want to repeat this process and exhale into a slightly deeper fold, feel free. If you notice that your right hip is getting tight, you can come out slightly or give your leg a little wiggle. When you reach the limit of that resistance, you can soften through the upper body. Soften the shoulders forward, drop your head without pulling the forehead down. To exit, walk the hands in towards you, support your spine as it lifts upright. Option to lay back into Savasana, or you can find a comfortable kneeling or seated position. Particularly if you're doing this practice to awaken, staying upright might be the better option. Once you settle within your body, close your eyes and focus on your breath. Make a commitment to enjoy the stillness of your practice as much as you enjoy the movement. And although the body is still, our mind is aware and awake. Feeling everything that's going on in the body. Any changes that take place. Without judgment, without labels. Just being you. Feel free to stay. Feel free to extend your Savasana or seated stillness. If you're ready to exit the practice, bring your mind to the surface. Connect to that outside world with its sounds, smells, textures. Taste the air. Create movement in the body to awaken. And if you were in Savasana, work your way towards a seated or kneeling position. Stacking once again the vertebrae on top of each other, shoulders over the hips. A sense of lightness in the crown of the head. With the hands at the heart, take a deep breath in and release it fully. Gently open your eyes. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste.